Welcome to the Tip Top channel. In this video, we are going to talk about top 10 oldest languages. So before starting this video, please like this video, and subscribe to the Tip Top channel for our future updates. We often take our language for granted, especially English, since it's one of the most popular languages in the world. Currently, linguists estimate that there are just over 6,900 languages spoken on Earth, and they all had to start somewhere. It is not possible to answer exactly how many languages of the world are there. According to an estimate, the total number of languages in the world is about 6,809, out of which the number of speakers of 90% of the languages is less than 100,000. There are about 200 to 150 languages that are spoken by more than 1 million people. There are about 357 languages that only 50 people speak. Not only this, but there are also 46 languages whose number of speakers is only 1. But do you know which is the oldest language in the world? If you are not aware of the answer to this question, then, after watching this video, you will know which is the oldest language in the world. Because in this video we are giving the details of the 10 oldest languages of the world according to the origin. There are several languages that we can trace back thousands of years, and some go back further than you probably realize. Take a look at some of the oldest languages in existence. Number 10. Arabic. Date: 328 AD. Language family: Afro-Asiatic, native to countries of the Arab League and parts of Asia, Europe and Africa. Number of modern speakers, up to 420 million. Arabic can be traced all the way back early 300s and has evolved over time from a variant of the language referred to as Old Arabic. The first known example of the Arabic language was from the Namara inscription, which was discovered in 1901. The inscription was found on a basalt rock which could have come from a tomb. This is significant because it proved that the Romans and Arabs knew about each other in the 4th century, which was unknown previous to that. Though some people point out that the inscription isn't totally Arabic, it is an excellent and very early instance of the Arab language. This language is found in Hebrew and Arabic languages today. It was once the official language of the Armenian Republic. There is evidence of its presence even 1,000 years before Christ. Even today the Arabic language is spoken in Iraq, Iran, Syria, Israel, Lebanon and modern Rome. Number 9. Mayan languages. Date: 292 AD. Language family: Mayan language. Native to Mesoamerica, Mexico, Honduras, Belize and around these areas. Number of modern speakers, 6 million. The Mayan family of languages is one of the oldest in the world. There are 32 different dialects of the Mayan language, and all of them can be traced back to the original, which comes from the 3rd century. The earliest Mayan language examples were not words. Instead, they were small pictures called glyphs. The first known example of the Mayan language was found at the ruins of Tikal, an ancient city that was discovered in the rainforest of Guatemala. Within the temple on the site there are large stone shafts. One of these shafts, Stela 29, contains the oldest known example of a Mayan language. Number 8. Sanskrit. Date: 100 AD. Language family: Indo-European, native to India, Nepal and the Asian subcontinent. Number of modern speakers, 14,000 plus. Another ancient language is Sanskrit, and it dates to around the 1st century AD. The first known example of Sanskrit was found in the city of Ayodhya, which is in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. However, ancient Sanskrit has also been found in other Indian states including Gujarat. There are many variations of Sanskrit, and for about 2,000 years, it was the main language of several areas of Southeast Asia. Although Sanskrit is still listed as one of the official languages of India, as of the 2001 census only 14,135 people listed it as their official language. The Sanskrit language is called Dvabhasha. All European languages seem inspired by Sanskrit. All the universities and educational institutions spread across the world consider Sanskrit as the most ancient language. It is believed that all the languages of the world have originated from Sanskrit somewhere. The Sanskrit language has been spoken since 5,000 years before Christ. Sanskrit is still the official language of India. However, in the present time Sanskrit has become a language of worship and ritual instead of the language of speech. All the auspicious works performed in Hindu religion are recited by Veda mantra, whose language is Sanskrit. Number 7. Tamil. Date: 500 BC, but could be earlier. Language family: Dravidian. Native to India and Sri Lanka. Number of modern speakers, about 70 million. The Tamil language is still the primary language of the Tamil people, and forms of it date back all the way to 500 BC. Remarkably, there are still more than 70 million people who still speak Tamil today. Of all of the languages of India, Tamil is the only one that can be recognized by modern speakers throughout time. For instance, some who speaks Tamil today could read ancient Tamil texts. With other languages, they change so much over time that the language would be unrecognizable. The Tamil language is recognized as the oldest language in the world, and it is the oldest language of the Dravidian family. This language had a presence even around 5,000 years ago. According to a survey, 1863 newspapers are published in the Tamil language only every day. At present, the number of speakers of Tamil language is around 7.7 crores. This language is spoken in India, Sri Lanka, Singapore and Malaysia. Number 6. Latin. Date: 700 BC. Language family: Indo-European. Native to Southern Europe, Roman Empire. Number of modern speakers: unknown. You might think that Latin is a dead language, but that's not quite true. Traditionally, people saw Latin as a language on paper, but not one that is traditionally spoken. Pope Benedict XVI changed that when he resigned from his post in Latin, in 2013. The oldest form of Latin is known as Old Latin, but by about 75 BC, Classical Latin, which is what we are most familiar with today, was the common language in the area. It's unknown how many people speak a form of Latin in modern times, but there are many Latin enthusiasts out there who keep the language alive. Number 5. Aramaic. Date: 900 BC. Language family: Afro-Asiatic. Native to Fertile Crescent and Eastern Arabia. Number of modern speakers: 450,000. Aramaic has been around for more than 3,000 years, but is considered endangered today, because most of the people who speak it are well past retirement age. Some forms of Aramaic are already considered dead, and more are getting closer all of the time. You might recognize Aramaic as it is commonly referred to as the biblical language, and scholars believe that this is the language spoken by Jesus and his disciples. There are still villages out there today that speak the same language, though it is not a popular language. Number 4. Old Chinese. Date: 1250 BC. Language family: Sino-Tibetan. Native to China. Number of modern speakers: 0. As you might expect, Old Chinese is the precursor of modern Chinese. It dates back to more than 3,000 years ago. The oldest known example of Old Chinese was found at the archaeological site of the ancient city of Yingzhou. Here, the researchers found oracle bones with the earliest form of the Chinese language. Researchers believe that there were about 4,000 different characters in Old Chinese. Only half of those have been translated with meaning, and experts don't know a lot about the grammar of Old Chinese. Old Chinese evolved into Middle Chinese around 600 AD. Chinese is the most spoken language in the world. It is spoken in China and some countries of East Asia. The Chinese language belongs to the Chinese-Tibetan language family, and is actually a group of languages and dialects. Standardized Chinese is actually a language called Mandarin. This language is 1,200 years old, even before the arrival of Jesus. Currently, about 1.2 billion people speak Chinese. Number 3. Mycenaean Greek. Date: 1600 BC. Language family: Indo-European. Native to Southern Balkans and modern Greece. Number of modern speakers: 0. Mycenaean Greek is the earliest form of the Greek language, and it dates as far back as the 16th century BC. There are several existing examples of Mycenaean Greek, and the language has been deciphered since the 1950s. The text that has been found is mostly inventory records and lists. There is no known literature written in Mycenaean Greek. It is believed that the use of this language ended when the Mycenaean civilization fell, but Archaico-Cypriot Greek, another form of the Greek language, is very similar to the Mycenaean version. Number 2. Egyptian language. Date: 3300 BC. Language family: Afro-Asiatic. Native to ancient Egypt. Number of modern speakers: none. The ancient Egyptian language is fairly common to everyone thanks to their use of hieroglyphics. For many years, teams of linguists have translated this language, which means we can greatly understand many of the texts that have been found. The first known sentence written in the Egyptian language was found in a tomb, and dates back to 2690 BC. This language was spoken until around the 17th century, though the writing changed over time. Number 1. Sumerian language. Date: 3500 BC. Language family: language isolate. Native to Sumer. Number of modern speakers: none. The oldest known written language is Sumerian, and it dates back to at least 3500 BC. The earliest proof that the written Sumerian language existed was the Kish tablet, which was found in Iraq. Sumerian is older than Egyptian, but it only lasted as a spoken language, until around 2000 BC when it was replaced by another language called Akkadian. Sumerian was unknown to the world until the 19th century, when archaeologists began to find evidence of the language. What do you think of our list? Which of the facts about these languages shocked you the most? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.